Welcome back to Big Mama. So yesterday I showed you the 4 females. I showed you Shenene, Patrice, Betsy and Truus. And those 4 females are competing who can get the biggest children. But how are they doing? So we have a poll on the website and people have voted for who they think will have the biggest children. And clearly Betsy is at the moment the most popular. But is that also true? Is Betsy doing best? Well, today we'll find out how she's doing. So before we continue, I want to show you a small fragment of how a carcass is going to look when the beetles had their time with it. So this is footage from a different pair of beetles that have already had the carcass for a while and they already are feeding larvae. So let's take a look at it. Okay, so here we can see a carcass that has been utilized by a pair of beetles for a bit longer than the ones we're having in our competition. And in the case of this carcass, the larvae are quite big already. And you can see the mouse doesn't really look like a mouse anymore. And you can see some larvae crawling around it. So we hope that our 4 females will get at the same stage as this one here. So how do they get from a fresh mouse to that little ball where the larvae can feed? So one thing we have to take into account is that the mouse is dead. And dead things rot away. So what these beetles do is they have oral and anal secretions and they apply these secretions on top of the carcass. And these secretions prevent microbes from growing. And in that way they keep the carcass fresh for their offspring, which is a good thing. So these beetles need to prepare the carcass because otherwise their offspring will not have high quality food and they might be smaller. So preparation is very important. But how are our ladies doing? Let's take a look. Okay, so here we have our 4 females. So the 2 small ones are on the left and the 2 big ones are on the right. And as we can see, both Shenene and Patrice didn't bury their carcass completely. They have clearly been doing something, but they are just not quite ready yet. Then on the right we can see Truus, who has done a bit better job. She at least buried half of the carcass. And then on the right we can see the crowd's favorite Betsy, and Betsy has been doing quite a good job because you can't hardly see any carcass at the moment. So as we can see, Betsy is still doing pretty well. She is the one that buried the carcass the most, but also Truus is doing pretty well. The little ladies, Shenene and Patrice, aren't really doing that well yet. But they might catch up. Maybe they're just a bit slower. They're smaller, so they might need more time to prep the carcass. So, what can we say about who's doing best? Well, what I didn't tell you yet is that Truus and Betsy already laid eggs. And laying eggs, of course, important if you want to reproduce. So, these 2 already laid eggs. Eggs will take about 2.5 days to hatch at 20 degrees Celsius. So in a couple of days Betsy and Truus will have offspring. But how Patrice and Shenene will do, we'll have to find out. So join us tomorrow again for Big Mama.